Hello, welcome to Newports and Virtual, and I am here with Smoothwaffle, and we will be talking to all of my dope members this time series of videos where you will get really important information and access to the mind of an engineer who does this professionally, and you'll get to understand either A, if you're trying to also be a producer, what that looks like being in that field, or B, whether you need one. You can see what you're looking for, what you should be asking people about, and what kind of services you're going to get into. And I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Definitely grab a pen and paper. You want to keep this information. Hey, welcome to Newports and Virtual, and I am here with Berlin, aka Smoothwaffle. So I'm going to dive right into it with tell me, I guess, about your name, Smoothwaffle.
Well, it's funny, I was just telling somebody, Smoothwaffle just came from a joke. It was a nickname in high school, Smooth. And then later down the line when I made my first Twitter, it just became a joke to just add waffle. I like waffles. And then it became a thing, it stuck. Eventually everybody who see my social media name call me that, so it just kind of became a thing.
Smoothwaffle, not a pancake. And the reason that's the first question why that's so important is because Smoothwaffle has opened up what we call the Waffle House.
Yes,
and this is all about engineering, recording. So I'm definitely going to dive in and ask you some questions about that. And so people with Newports and Virtual can definitely see what you provide as an artist, an intellectual, and I like to say engineer extraordinaire.
Wow. Thank you.
Welcome. So, one, could you describe real quick what is recording? What is engineering? I should ask. What is engineering?
So engineering is the process, audio engineering is the process of being able to scope sound, edit sound, dig into the file of the wave. It's really just being a scientist of the sound and the sonic. And in this case, recording, through the idea of recording, I'll take an artist. It could be podcasts. I'll take their voices, their vocals, and being able to now apply it into a digital audio workstation in which I can then edit, bend, sculpt, clear up. You know what I'm saying? What they've recorded, what is recorded,
Mr. Smoothwaffle, what would be the number one thing you would say people would get as far as the experience of engineering with you?
Personally, I like to consider my strong suit in engineering is the experience I can create by myself being an artist. Myself being an artist, I can be able to understand and better communicate what it is that the vision that the artist is trying to maybe translate to me. It's not always easy for an artist to translate their vision to somebody who is here to either produce or engineer the whole song or whatnot. So I like to think that me being an artist makes it easier for us to communicate on finding that vision. I as well like to always keep an open mind when it comes to exploring the artist's world. Naturally, when it comes to me, I might have my own personal process and ways of going about things, but the biggest job of a producer even is to be able to distinguish that vision for the artist, And so for me, I always like to think that I have a benefit there. I like to make the artist feel comfortable and just make sure that I'm open-minded as well to explore that.
Okay, so an architect of music composition? Okay. So being this, how many years now has it been for you?
So I've been engineering legitimately over 10 years. like after taking in the education in college more seriously, I would say about 7. Because you know, just starting to record music, you know, you're gonna record what you can, you know, and in my case, I was at home recording through a laptop mic, just trying to do a mixtape with my friend, you know what I'm saying, just to do a project. And then eventually when I went to school, I was able to learn more about how the processing and the dynamics work within engineering, which is like compression, equalization, aka EQ, just understanding how sounds are meant to merge and work together, and how you want to create room for sound. You know, it's a whole sound spectrum. It works in frequencies, and so I said like science to this. It's like mathematically applying sound frequencies and understanding how there's lows and highs and how it all works together.
Well, yes, and that's definitely scientific. I was, you know, I learned a little bit of that in middle school. Not gonna lie, a little bit, just a little bit. So with having over 10 years experience, I would say that you're definitely qualified to tell me what, if I came to you, like, what's the difference between the beat recording or mixing? Because I know the services that you do. So
the beat, more simply put, can be the production or the sound that could serve as like the bed, or even just, you know, the you could say like the canvas to the painting. And recording is the process of miking to capture sound. In most cases, you know, I'm utilizing an interface. Studios might have a big mixing board or an interface, which is ideally an interface. But recording is just the act of being able to record mic sounds and being able to then capture it. Mixing would then be the process of editing, clearing, compressing, EQing the sound. In this case, it's like doctoring the sound. It could be to your liking, it could be to clean it up. You know, it's really just the process of being able to edit sound, you know. Okay.
Well, that's definitely, as you described it, 3 completely different services.
Completely
different. Going in that, so in your career, what brands do what brands have you utilized with software? You can just name a couple.
Okay. So as far as like, I can start with like the DAW. The DAW, which is the digital audio workstation. I like to utilize Ableton Live. Ableton Live has been my go-to these last, I'd say like 6 years.
Okay.
You know, only because it's given me a great hub for production as well as recording. I started out with Fruity Loops, FL Studio, just simply off production. I learned Pro Tools in college, and Pro Tools is like the recording standard in a lot of places, and just even in the entertainment industry. So I've gotten to be able to learn like that staple, but then from there, you know, I've been able to apply it in many different directions. Yeah, because a lot of the recording and mixing, it all applies to everything. You know what I'm saying? You could apply it to any of these programs, but it's kind of just preference. Some of them got quality differences and whatnot, but strictly more preference.
And I see you have a desktop setup. Do you ever use a laptop or a phone?
So I don't usually use my phone. I'm more desktop based. I did utilize a laptop prior in certain occasions in the past. Like I started on my laptop first, but eventually trying to have a better processor, more RAM support, you know, because working with audio through these programs, it's a lot on your computer, you know, so you want to be sure that you can have a great amount of memory as well as a good working computer. that can be able to process all what your computer is doing. Because at the end of the day, you're doing all this on your computer still. So it can be a toll. If you have like a 4 gigabyte computer, or most cases it won't even survive with these kind of programs, because it's basically utilizing a lot of your computer's like efforts and the sound card for it to even be able to process everything that's going on, because it's a lot of information.
Wow, it's like your computer needs to be able to process a lot of information, and then it's like your brain has so much information, so it of course needs to be compatible.
Reasons to why like a lot of studios, they'll have a lot of this gear and equipment, because it's in order to be able to supply the workflow. A lot of the times, like when you're connecting your computer to your interface or your computer and et cetera, you want to be able to have an open, easy workflow for everything that's going on, because like the processors, the plugins, it all takes parts from your computer. It's more effort that makes your computer work, so it's very efficient to have a great working SSD or a very spacious external hard drive, and just be able to like make your workflow that much easier. It's a lot to this, but it's important to have a good working computer.
Okay. So what would you say as far as, how would you label yourself? Would you label yourself a hobbyist at this point, part-time, or a more professional engineer?
It's definitely a profession for me. I've been able to work out of this. I do have a passion for it. And I know I'm always a student to this. It's always more for me to learn. I'm not perfect. I'm not the greatest engineer. Like I say all that to say that there's always more for me to expound on. But within the many experiences I've been able to create with artists, as well as just fellow producers, it's always pushed me to do more, to know more. It always piques my interest to know that I could always better something, whether it's sound, engineering, or even recording. There's so many processes to this. So being a student to life, it always consistently pushes me to want to do better.
Well, I can say that I definitely appreciate, on behalf of Newports and News, you coming down and taking out the time to explain to our members and viewers about the lifestyle of being an engineer, us getting to know you personally, and then also learning some really dope information. So
definitely. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Hi, so after you seen this interview, this intro, right, you need to DM Newports and News, email newportsnews@gmail, or you can DM me personally. Hi, I'm Jasmine at Nyla Newports, and find out more information about what it is you get out of your membership, besides just these dope videos with Smoothwaffle, who's going to bring you into some really interesting information about producing and engineering. Or just sign up for the membership now and get your access before everyone else.